We are ready for game 2 of the doubleheader on this beautiful Tuesday night. The Squatch, excuse me, this is Wednesday, isn't it? I'm losing track of my days. That doesn't tell you how crazy this week has already been. We made up a game earlier today that was supposed to be played down in Hastings at the beginning of the year, but it was rained out. So we made that game up first. That was at 3:30 this afternoon. The Squatch lost it 5-1. Overall consensus, they had a lot of chances to be able to go and get that win. A lot of free bases and a lot of hits. They had 7 hits, but only 1 run to show for it. 6 walks were allowed by the starting pitcher, but no, there was a lot of untimely hitting, and they couldn't get the job done. Hastings pitching staff played well. Some great defensive plays made behind Brock Cross. And ultimately, the Sodbusters now move 2 games in front of the Spearfish Sasquatch for first place in the Independence League. The Squatch can still make it close, though, and escape the week, at least with a tie for first place. If they can win game 2 right now and win tomorrow night in a 9-inning game, it'll be, well, barring anything else tomorrow, it'd be the first 9-inning game that we played against Hastings this week. After last night was a run rule victory for the Squatch, 13-3, that ended in 7. And then 2 7-inning games today in the doubleheader. Leading things off for the Sodbusters is Christian Loera. It's the exact same lineup for Hastings. Quite different for the Sasquatch. We'll get there in a moment as Lucas Torelli, first pitch, misses low and in for ball 1. Defense behind Torelli, and the outfield from left to right, it's Aaron Neal, Sam Kwapnoski, and Ethan Mooser. Along the infield, it's Nick Work, Ben Foyer, Peyton Fort, and Jordan Bowman. Behind the dish is Carson Rather. The batting order for Hastings, like I just said, is the exact same. Christian Loera, Drew Vega, Lou Cosley will lead things off. Heart of the order is Brock Cross, Ryan Jarvis, and Jackson Crane. And rounding out the starting 9 is Weston Johnson, Graham Hilton, and Cooper Harrell. Torelli off to a 3-0 count. Finds the zone as 3-1. Now I bring up the differences between these two lineups, and 1, to actually introduce the lineups, but 2, Hastings has the exact same lineup they had in Game 1.
Yep.
But Game 2 here for Spearfish, it's almost a completely different lineup, which brings up the point that we made last night, that this team is very plug-and-play. 3-2 grounder to third, and it gets through for a base hit. Just past the outreach glove of Work. And the Hastings Sodbusters have the leadoff hitter aboard.
Yeah, AJ, we have at least 4 new guys in the game. Or pardon me, Bowman is still in the game, but switches position, obviously. We got Rather in, Neal's in, and then Mooser all in from last game.
And Mooser making his first start this week against Hastings. Didn't play last night. He was joining us up here in the booth. And then did not play in Game 1 this afternoon, but gets the nod in Game 3. Here's Drew Vega upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, Mooser had an interesting story. He told us yesterday he does have one of the strongest arms, although that's post-labrum tear, which is not an easy one to come back from if you're a quarterback or a strong outfielder, so credit to him.
Squares the bunt, pulls back. It's called a strike anyway. You're absolutely right. It's crazy that after tearing your labrum, that Mooser's still able to come out and throw the ball what looks like 100 miles an hour from the outfield. Absolutely ridiculous. The 1-2. Poked foul. We'll do it again. mean, he's thrown out a guy at third. Down in Hastings, he airmailed one that from right field, and it flew out of the ballpark beyond third base. It was pretty crazy. Here's the 1-2. Popped up to the left side. Foyer and shallow left. Now steps in, makes the catch for out number 1.
That middle infield obviously doesn't change. Foyer and Fort, of course, we've talked about they have had some errors here and there, but the common denominator is they are a very strong middle infield duo.
Yeah, and Ben Foyer leads the Independence League in double plays. He's turned 8 this summer. And his partner over there on the right side of the bag, Peyton Fort's been a big part of it. But Nick Work has also become a staple at third base. He moved around when he first got here at shortstop, second base, played a little bit of the outfield, but has solidified himself as the third baseman for the Sasquatch, at least till he goes back. Swing and a miss, the runner takes off, and it's a foul ball. So, Loera, or was it? Maybe it wasn't a foul ball. Never mind, misspoke. Thought the umpire put up his fist as though it was a foul ball, but nonetheless, it's 0-2, and Loera has a stolen base. I didn't think he actually got a piece of it, but the umpire threw up his hand, but I guess it was not foul. Good stop by Rather. 3 really good catchers for the Sasquatch. We keep bringing it up, but Rather, he attacks the baseball when he sees that's going to be low. You see him jump up and almost lunge forward. You got to be careful that the guy isn't swinging. 1-2. Big hack and a miss on the high cheese from Torelli. And he has his first strikeout.
Some nice pitching from Torelli, just mixing up spots. He's been firing that fastball the past couple of games we've seen him in, but again, you put that one high in an 0-2 count, that guy wants it badly. You know, you're taught to protect on 0-2, and protecting is huge, but obviously that one just unable to get any barrel right there.
This is Torelli's 3rd appearance on the mound. He's made most of his starts in center field. He's thrown 4 1/3, now make it 5 innings. He has a 0 ERA, a .92 whip, 7 strikeouts to no walks, and opponent batting average of .250. 2-0 on the cleanup hitter Brock Cross, who started game 1 today. Had a pretty good 5 2/3, 3 strikeouts. Did walk 6, but only allowed 1 run. The 2-0, breaking ball fouled away. It's 2-1. Looking at Torelli's numbers on the mound, making his first start. He last pitched on the road last week in Oahe, threw 3 1/3, had 4 strikeouts, and did not walk a guy. The 2-1. Upstairs for ball 3. Long look in from Torelli. Comes set the 3-1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Nasty breaker.
Thing dropped off the table, man.
Boy.
Yeah. It's dirty right there.
It's a full count on Brock Cross with 2 down and a runner on second. Breaking ball misses up and away for ball 4. And that is the first walk allowed by Torelli this season.
AJ, it's always an interesting decision to see what pitchers throw on a 3-2 count. Are you more comfortable with your off-speed, or are you more comfortable throwing a fastball? Of course, there Torelli got the sign to call or to throw another off-speed, but I don't know if you were ever the pitcher to throw one. If you had a curveball, you could feel like you could kind of loft in there even just for a strike, but always kind of curious to see what pitchers do there.
I didn't have much of a off-speed pitch. Didn't really have a changeup or curveball. This one is drilled to right center. Mooser back. Kwapnowski back, and Mooser can't get there. Drops between them both. 1 run scores. Here comes another from first, and he slides in safely. It's a bases clearing double for Ryan Jarvis. And they're going to rule that an error. I guess I don't really know who it would be on, whether it's Kwap or Mooser. But nonetheless, a huge miscommunication there. As Cross goes first to third, Loera scored easily.
Yeah, AJ, that's a tough one. You think you're about to get out of the inning, 2 outs. Not routine fly ball by any means, but 2 solid outfielders out there.
Jackson Crane, first pitch, pops it foul. We just saw Quap make one of the best catches of the year the other night. Went full airborne, Superman style, to make a diving catch. By that time, neither Mooser or Quap was able to communicate and make the play. This one's in front of Rather, and it's 1-1. Not the way you want to start after dropping game 1. Upstairs, checked his swing. It's 2-1. He did not go around, the umpires say. Looked pretty close.
Definitely questionable.
Had a lot of close plays and close calls today. 2-1. Fouled back.
Definitely went there. It's Bark in the Park night tonight here at the Black Hills Energy Stadium. As we've said multiple times, we've probably got, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 dogs. There's a decent turnout.
Yeah.
They all have to sign a little waiver at the front. I petitioned for them to have to do a little paw stamp. That was vetoed, but.
Tapper back to the mound. Torelli gloves it, turns around, fires to first. Good stretch from Bo for out number 3. But not before a huge miscommunication play in right center scores 2 as Ryan Jarvis puts it in play and picks up a couple of RBIs. It's 2-0 Busters, headed to the bottom of the first.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
Leading things off for the Squatch in the bottom of the first, trailing by 2, is the starting right fielder, Ethan Mooser from Ontario, Canada, a fellow Canadian across the way in the other dugout. Jacob Boldoin, he pitched in game 1 for Hastings, also from Ontario. Mooser takes one of the dirt in his bowl, too. Mooser this season hitting .308 with a .410 on base and a .794 OPS. 11 walks, 15 runs, 13 RBIs. Takes a strike on the outside corner and it's 2-1.
AJ, you've talked about how unorthodox his path has been, especially coming from a whole different area of Canada.
Yeah, and this one's chopped to the right side. First baseman comes off the bag, picks it up, and Mooser is out number 1. Put that in my scorebook quick, then we'll get to the story.
Yeah, pretty routine play right there. But, AJ, you've touched on it so many times with Moose, how there really wasn't much high school ball. It was Legion play and stuff like that. And then he found a way to get over here to Spearfish. And I know he's making a flight out to California at some point in this 5-day break, getting himself some much-needed rest.
Gonna go see his girlfriend out there.
That he will.
Big hack and a miss from Carson Rather, and he falls behind 0-1. But going back to Mooser, you're right. His story is a little bit more unorthodox. There's not a lot of organized baseball up in Canada at the high school level. But he was able to get onto a traveling team up there in Canada, able to make some trips down to the U.S. and play in some tournaments. As this one's fouled away from Rather. But he ultimately credits Twitter as to why he got to the University of Northern Colorado. He would post all of his highlights, and it wasn't just like the big highlights. It was literally anything, whether it was a home run or a single or a fly ball catch. He would post it. If he had a video of it, he would post it to his Twitter.
Yeah.
PBR Canada up there is normally a big help for those guys as well. And he said that's how Northern Colorado reached out to him, is that he got DM on Twitter. Rather lines one to left. It'll get down for a base hit. And he is the first base runner for the Squatch.
Yeah, I also credit Twitter, but more for my stupid kind of childlike humorous posts that I'll read on there. I'll find some sports information once in a while. I do follow Schefter and a couple of guys, Woj and whatnot. But I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm following Marquee and the Cubs and whatnot. Saw that nice smash of a home run by PCA last night. They got a delayed game today, or pardon me, a canceled game today from the Brewers.
Bowman slaps it the other way and through for a base hit. Rather will hold up at second. And it's back-to-back singles for Spearfish.
That's a way to start it. I think that's kind of what we talked about at the beginning. Not exactly like pacing yourself, but the idea of like kind of taking it melodically rather than like let's just go, try to get as many runs as we can. Like, you got 7 innings left, and so I think the end of last game was kind of a prerequisite to what this game should be. Just take it pitch by pitch if you can. Here's
Aaron Niels. Did not play in Game 1 today, but gets the nod for Game 2. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. The 6-foot redshirt freshman from Newburgh, Indiana, attends the University of Evansville. Did not appear in game action in 2024 and spent his last summer with the DuBois County Bombers at the Prospect League.
Yeah, Niels plays out there. The Aces, buddy Max Hansman, he played out there too. I was playing with Max some years back for Team DeMarini. That was pretty fun ball.
Tell me, you could have gone and played at Evansville maybe?
I could have played for Evansville's ping pong team. That's about it. Baseball?
Do they have a ping pong team? That'd be kind of cool if they did.
I'd make it.
You think you'd make it?
I'd create it.
You're that good at ping pong?
No, but I'm that good at, I don't know.
Convincing people to join a sport?
Yeah, exactly. Persuading the office.
That one gets away. Both runners will advance 90 feet. Graham Hilton couldn't keep it in front, and now the Sasquatch have the tying run in scoring position.
And, AJ, this is exactly the spot they were in multiple times last game. They cannot leave runners stranded. I think that's one of the biggest things. They're probably harping down to them in between games. You have runners on second and third. Poke a ball to the right side. Get somebody in.
The 2-2 on Niels. Breaking ball, pulled left side. Third baseman gloves it. He'll go to first in time to get him. Rather does come in to score. And Aaron Niels will pick up an RBI and cut the lead in half.
That'll work for one. Just kind of chipping away. Like one of those dudes that kind of does that ice pick motion when he's climbing out in the Andes Mountains, the Alaskan Mountains. Chipping away.
Chipping away?
Chipping away.
Here's Sam Kwapnowski. And he's been one of the best bats in this lineup. Came into today hitting .349. Had a pretty decent first game.
2 for 4 in that one, I believe.
You're right, 2 for 4. And this one slapped to the right side. Second baseman picks it up and on to first for out number 3. The Squatch get one back, but Strand Bowman on second. It's 2-1 Hastings when we come.
My favorite thing about Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Leading things off for the Busters is Weston Johnson, the designated hitter, in a 2-1 ball game. The Squatch got a couple of runners on. Were able to drive in one, but Bowman was left on second base. Torelli comes set. First pitch, swung on a miss on the high cheese. Torelli's been going to that high fastball early and often. He's gotten a lot of swing and misses on it, especially early.
Really has. He was throwing pretty hard this past inning, firing a little bit too much.
That time he doesn't bite, and it's 1-1.
I mentioned it yesterday, but a couple doubles from him, and just the letters flown out the back of the hat. Always a little bit of an ego upgrade there. Not ego upgrade, pardon me. Wrong word.
Confidence booster.
Yeah.
Confidence
That's much better. Yeah. It's like in hockey. It's like in baseball. Anytime you get some little strands falling out the back of the hair, or the back of the hat.
It looks cool in pictures,
It does. It really does. Yeah. Call that the what do they call that? Let's think. Let's come up with a nice little alliteration. Fantastic follicles. Let's go with that.
Fantastic follicles.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that one.
Only you could come up with that. Hack and a miss, and Johnston works a full count. Torelli, as we talked about, plays primarily center field, but, of course, is pretty good on the pitcher's mound as well. 3-2, line to right for a base hit. He's looking to go Division I. He's in the transfer portal right now. He said he's received a few calls and offers, and he's kind of just waiting for the right time to make a decision. He just finished up a year at Eastern New Mexico University. Played a couple JUCO years as well. He's been putting on a heck of a show this summer. Squares the bunt, pulls back. The throw down to first is in the air. Bowman kept it in front of him.
Yeah, that's one of those kind of swipe your glove and pray it doesn't go past you. That wasn't the most on-target throw right there from Rather, but no harm, no foul. Looks like the fire truck's turning on behind the stadium. Her little honk, they're getting somewhere.
Hopefully everything's okay. Here's Graham Hilton, squares the bunt, pulls back, called a strike.
Yeah, we talked about it last game. Hastings really has been showing bunt a lot, and obviously they've laid down a couple. 1 on 2 strikes last game, so pretty risky stuff, but not afraid to kind of pop it down there just a couple feet away.
Squares the bunt again, pops it straight up into the air. Rather will give it a look, but falls harmlessly to the grass.
So you got to wonder why a team's bunting right now. You'll see them bunt with a runner on second, of course. You'll see them bunt with a runner on first. I don't know what their plan is. Obviously, I guess they got no outs. Put a runner on the second if they can.
I guess.
Lefty batter, get down the line a little bit faster, but not exactly the most ideal position.
Especially just giving him an out when you have a runner on and he's not in scoring position.
Right.
Why not let the guy hit away and try and move him 2 bases rather than just 1 on a bunt?
Obviously, he's going to have to do it now. He must be a pretty quick guy. Obviously, he is a lefty, so he's got a little bit of an advantage right there.
In a full count with nobody out, And Weston Johnson on first after the leadoff single. Hilton in game 1 walked, was hit by a pitch, and struck out. Low ball 4, runner took off, but it doesn't matter. So there's runners on first and second for the 9-hole hitter, Cooper Harrell. And it's never really ideal when you have 7, 8, 9 to put him on the base paths for the top of the order.
No, not at all. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see him show bunt again and try to lay one down somewhere to get runners to second and third if they're going to bunt a bunch. But
yeah, no, this is more of a situation for it. Corners are in, expecting it. He squares early, pulls back, but it's low and away.
Obviously, that's one of the games you always play with a pitcher. You know, you're just showing bunt until they can throw one in the strike zone. So take a ball right here. We'll see if Hastings continues to show it.
Left fielder Niels is a few steps in as well. Mooser deep and right. The 1-0 squares the bunt, pulls back, and it's low and away for ball 2. Torelli having a tough time finding the zone.
Yeah, he's not even really thinking of bunting right now. He's pulling back the second Torelli starts to actually throw. The second he comes set, he's showing bunt, but absolutely just kind of a tactic to see if Torelli can put one down the center of the plate. Runners on first and second for Hastings. AJ, you pitched a couple times back in your day. You were mostly a fastball, predominantly fastball pitcher, right?
Only fastball pitcher, yeah.
Only fastball pitcher.
Didn't have anything fancy.
You got any favorite moments from a mound visit? Any catcher that would make you laugh? Any coach that would kind of, you know, chew you out or anything?
I don't really remember the mound visits. I didn't have too many unless I was getting pulled. There's a strike, 2-1.
Yeah. In which case, when you get pulled, you're just like body slam the coach and then just keep.
Yeah, no, totally.
Keep playing.
That's exactly what I did.
Trevor Bauer, throw it over the center field fence, right?
Keep me in, coach. Puts down a bunt right in front of the plate. Rather has it. He does not have a play at first as Fort was late to get in there. And the bases are loaded on the, I guess you call it, infield single.
Definitely not ideal right there. I know what Bowman was trying to do. He was going to charge initially from first, and once once Rather went and picked up that ball, Bowman ducked down to make sure that he was out of the way. Of course, Fort couldn't get over there fast enough.
So now the corners will stay in with the bases juiced. Big hack and a miss from the leadoff hitter, Christian Loera. This is the last spot you want to be if you're Torelli. You put the bottom 3 guys on base, and now the top of the order has a chance to do damage. Puts down a bunt up the first base line and in no man's land, and everybody's safe.
So I'll tell you something they're going to work on in practice. The Squatch defense will next week. Can you guess what it is?
Bunt and defense.
Bunt and defense.
And that's going to draw Octo out of the dugout, and he'll bring in the infield. If the bunting's working, I guess might as well keep doing it.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can't just throw anybody out there to bunt. These are not bad bunts. I mean, that first one a second ago to load the bases, that's one that you probably could make a play on if you play it well. Not the easiest because it came off the bat so slowly. That last one right there is intentionally pushed out a little bit to get some air, go right to our right of the pitcher, your left looking here on the camera, and you put that right in this little Bermuda Triangle of the pitcher, second and first, and all of a sudden, who's covering, who's grabbing the ball, you know? So there's some miscommunication there, and it's a really good job by Hastings.
Bases are still loaded in a 3-1 ball game. This one's popped up, shallow left. It'll stay in the infield. Foyer calls for it, makes the catch for out number 1.
It's a nice job right there for Torelli to battle back and just kind of move on to the next pitch, have a goldfish mindset or mentality. Still just 1 out, so 2 more to go here. Not a huge deficit, 3-1. Of course, the bunting, as simple as it is, really can be effective if done well, and Hastings has executed almost perfectly so far.
Corners stay in with 1 down. Bases still juiced. Here's Luke Causey. First pitch drops in for a strike. Causey struck out his first time up an inning ago. And Hastings have a nice rally here. The 0-1 away for ball 1. If you're Torelli, obviously not the start you wanted here in this second inning.
No.
After giving up 2 runs in the first. Upstairs, ball 2. Couple of free bases in his outing so far, but for the most part, it's been base hits, 3 in this second inning.
Yeah.
And most of them have been the bunt.
The bunt. Sounds like a horror movie.
It's going to be after this game.
Yeah.
Flip foul, 2-2.
Huge outright here to mitigate damage. If you get one right here, even one out, obviously double play would be nice, but just a single out to kind of make sure there's no possibility of a sac fly. The next play would be huge for Torelli in this defense here.
Cornish will stay in as the Busters have bunted with 2 strikes, so just in case. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, and just as Aiden predicted it, a big strikeout, and this one's a backwards K.
That's just lovely right there for Torelli. I won't lie, that ball looking on the camera probably looks a little bit outside to most people, but if you know the umpires from the last game, they've been calling that for the first 7.5, 8 innings of this game or this doubleheader here. So obviously you kind of have to know the guys you're working with and understand where that strike zone is. Still put a bat out there and even foul one off, but nice strikeout there from Torelli.
Here's Brock Cross, big hack and a miss, and it's 0-1. Went upstairs again with a fastball. For the most part, well, I guess for the most part it's been bunts. But I would say that a lot of guys have been laying off the high fastball since that first inning.
Yeah, I like bunt cakes. I'm just not a huge fan of baseball bunts.
And the dirt gets away from Rather, but not far enough for anybody to advance. And again, we talked about it in the first game, but small ball isn't very common in summer baseball just because guys are in the transfer portal or looking to get their swing down, so they more want to swing away and focus on getting themselves better. But the Sodbusters have played small ball this summer, and they've done it really well.
They really have. You know, I mean, you've obviously got a coach down there who is not just, let's go get your highlight tapes up, but let's actually win some baseball games. And if that means small ball, absolutely.
And it's always more fun to win games than lose games, of course. And sometimes that gets lost in summer ball. The 1-2's fouled back, and we'll do it again. The 1-2 is upstairs. Torelli frustrated with himself, trying to find the zone. He kind of comes set like a Craig Kimbrell. He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite have the full wing.
Right.
But the way his arm hangs, just dangles there.
Yeah.
And how far in front his front foot is.
Yeah.
When he comes set, it's very Craig Kimbrell-esque.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, especially the way his arm hangs. When he comes over, and it's just kind of sitting there in the wind.
Full count, 2 down, bases loaded, nowhere to put him. The runners take off. It's fouled back. Good fight here from Cross and Torelli.
There's a huge strike right here. Huge next pitch, I should say. You get one here, and although you've given up 1 run in this inning, you kind of feel like you've gotten out of it with 0, considering all the circumstances on the base path right now.
Comes set with the 3-2. Runners take off. It's popped up. Shallow left. Foyer out underneath it. Makes the catch for out number 3. And the Sodbusters leave them loaded, but do get another one back on the base hit. On the bunt base hit from Christian Loera to score Weston Johnston. And the small ball is well and alive for the Sodbusters. Can the Squatch start to pick away at this lead?
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags hit the road, strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Three-one Hastings as we head to the bottom of the second. Leading things off is Chase Scott, Peyton Fort, and Ben Foyer. Scott did not play in game one and did not play last night either, getting his first start at home against the Sodbusters. Had a pretty hot bat last couple of weeks. Went 2 for 4 with 1 RBI at home against Oahe last week, but really caught heat on the road trip when he went 4 for 6 against Fremont and 2 for 5 at home, but he strikes out here.
It's one of the quickest at-bats you'll ever see for having 4 pitches. That was
lightning fast. I was trying to get through the intro for Chase.
30 seconds, not even.
That was fast.
Yeah, he had his first 2 strikes looking within 10 seconds, within like 4 seconds of each other. So fast K for Chase. Of course, this pitcher moves pretty fast anyways.
First pitch to Peyton Fort. Breaking ball misses high. Fort, a 6'2 sophomore from Council Bluffs, Iowa. Finished up his final year at North Iowa Area Community College. Is transferring to Georgia Gwinnett College for 2026 alongside Sasquatch teammate Kyle Finn. This last spring, Fort at North Iowa area hit .368 with a .538 on base and a .690 slug. Had 25 RBIs and 4 home runs. Pulled into the Spearfish dugout. Looks like it missed everybody.
Yeah, is that Foyer who's on deck who was kind of ducking even though he's got a helmet on?
Yeah.
Get away from that ball.
2-1. Away for ball 3.
It's a good take right there. That's probably a 2-seamer that's just kind of tailing outwards. It's hard to kind of stay away from that one as a lefty. Of course, you know your bat might not even get to it.
3-1. Inside for ball 4, and Peyton works a walk.
Nice job by Fort once again. Just a consistent bat and kind of a consistent player for the most part.
He's been the definition of consistent over the last few weeks. Going into the game yesterday, was hitting .512 over his last 11 games.
Yeah.
Here's Ben Foyer. Fouls the first pitch he sees off, and it's 0-1.
Foyer, I want to say, is one of only 2 Squatch players to have a triple this season. That one came just a few days ago. Of course, the first triple was in Hastings, that rainy field with Seth Nelson a while back. But Foyer's definitely got some wheels on him.
Ball's in the dirt. Runner takes off. The throw to second's in the dirt. And Peyton Fort swipes 90 feet.
And what a great job of having awareness by Peyton Fort. That ball is not a pass ball, but the catcher had to kind of get down on all fours basically and kind of snag that guy. And by the time he looked up, Fort was already halfway there.
You saw the rushness of Graham Hilton, lack for a better term. He rushed that throw because he realized he didn't think that Peyton was going to take off because it didn't get away from him, but then he did. And he rushed the throw, and he just spiked it into the grass.
Absolutely, yeah.
2-1 on Foyer. His first at-bat of the day here in the second inning. Chopper to the left side, third baseman backhands it, bobbles it, and everybody's safe.
Sometimes that'll do. Sometimes better to be lucky than good and, just put a ball in play. Foyer's obviously got some wheels on him. A clean pickup right there from Hastings might have thrown him out, but again, you kind of get rushed a little bit when you see a player that fast barreling his way down the foul line, and just a great job right there by Foyer to kind of put a ball in play and give himself a chance.
It would have been a tough play no matter what.
Absolutely.
Because of how close to the line it was. And I think with Foyer's speed, he might have beaten it out anyway.
Yeah.
This ball gets away. Both runners advance 90 feet. And the Squatch now have the tying run in scoring position.
And here we are once again, right? One out. Runners on second and third. You need to put some balls in play and give your runners a shot at coming back to the dugout.
Third baseman is in. The shortstop takes a few steps in as well for Nick Work. The 1-0. Inside ball 2. Work, a 5'10 freshman from Madison Lake, Minnesota, attends South Dakota State University. Appeared in 47 games as a freshman for the Jackrabbits. 2-0. Called a strike.
That one definitely hit the outside part of the plate. But again, as I mentioned earlier, you got to know the umpire. He was calling him earlier, so obviously it might look a little funky, but that's there.
That one's not 3-1.
That one's not.
Inside. Backed him off the plate. Top of the order due up next, and Ethan Mooser. Here's the 3-1. Away for ball 4. Good patience from Work. And that will load the bases for the top of the order. Very similar spot that Hastings was in the top of the inning. And that's going to draw a meeting in the infield as Graham Hilton calls the infield in.
Yeah, really good job right there from Spearfish. Just trying to kind of get themselves later in the count, work themselves later in the count, and have actual full at-bats. Chase Scott was a leadoff hitter and had, again, what we mentioned is one of the fastest ABs we've seen in a while. So a nice job by Spearfish to kind of slow their game down. Runners on all bases now. Mooser at the plate. He's been a solid bat so far this season. Whether he's been on base or flied out, he puts a very powerful swing on that ball. You can hear it from a couple blocks away.
Can hear it from his hometown.
Can hear it from his hometown.
In Ontario.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've said it, but, like, come on. You're from Canada and your last name's Mooser? Is there anything better?
No.
Mooser?
The best nickname in baseball. Moose.
Right. That's sweet. That's just awesome stuff. I know you asked him about his concussion protocols the other day. He was playing hockey back when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That's something that, it doesn't feel too good when you get popped in the head in hockey, I'll tell you.
No, and those hockey sticks are not soft. They don't bend easy.
No.
So when they're hitting the back of your head, your neck is bending, not the stick.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled off the plate, and it's 1-2.
What an interesting foul ball.
Yeah, I think that
bounced off the bat, then the plate, and then bounced all the way over the protective netting.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Sounded like it might have caught in a piece of the catcher, too. Nonetheless, it's 1-2. Corners in for the Sodbusters. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Mooser's eyes lit up when he saw the slow breaker, and he swung right through it.
That's a frustrating one. It's obviously one that you kind of want back right there.
I mean, when you have the bases loaded in a clutch situation, you see the low breaker, you're going to want to crush it. And it looks like batting practice. But just swung right through it.
Absolutely it does. Rather put a nice swing on the ball last time he was up, popped it out to the left center area. See if we can do that again. That'd be super helpful here.
Upstairs, ball 2. And that's one thing about Carson. He is super patient at the plate. As twitchy as he is and as much as he moves behind the dish, he really knows the strike zone well. Goes halfway around, though, here, 2-1.
Yeah, and there's that almost restraint. You know, I think about halfway through that swing, as any batter does, they're like, yeah, it was not a strike. And, of course, hard to kind of restrain that back going full speed there.
Well, the mindset always is yes, 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 and at the last second you say no.
Right.
But if you say that yes one more time, it's tough to hold up.
Exactly.
Misses away, 3-1.
I was going to say, if you got to a 3-0, you're taking, but honestly, 3-1, you got to be protective right here. You still want to put a good swing on the ball if you get it.
Bases loaded. 2 down, and he walks him. Brings in a run. Good patience from Rather. Fort comes in from third. Foyer moves to third. Work moves to second. And a huge AB for Carson Rather as he drives in a run on the walk.
AJ, you couldn't have prefaced it better. The patience there from Rather. You get to 3-1. You want to be protective. That ball is in the dirt, but it wasn't super far down, so hard to hold off, but a really good job right there from the catcher.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Here's Jordan Bowman with a tying run 90 feet away. Takes a strike.
And Bowman was dangerous as ever the other night, popping 2 home runs, and he got a double as well. He was definitely 3 for 4. Just a powerful bat the past couple of days for Spearfish.
Checked his swing. He went around, says the home plate umpire, and he quickly falls behind 0-2.
Now you're protecting here. Choke up a little bit and just try to put a piece on it.
Got to stay alive. Trying to drive in the game-tying run. The 0-2. Checked his swing again. This time he did not go around, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, definitely a little more restraint right there. You can tell that Bowman, he's always had a little bit more of a closed stance, but when he gets down in the count, he's definitely closing a little bit more, crowding the plate a bit, forcing the pitcher to make a more accurate decision here.
Breaking ball, called strike 3 on the inside corner. Great pitch from Braden Cork. And he leaves them loaded, but the Squatch get one back. It's 3-2 in favor of the Sodbusters.
I wanna shout out to the world so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind.
Hey, nice strike.
Yeah, it blows my mind. She's my lover.
3-2 Sodbusters. New pitcher for the Squatch is the 6-foot freshman from Pickerington, Ohio. Attends Capital University. It's Will Furry. Making his 5th appearance of the season. He's thrown 15 1/3 this summer. He's allowed 7 earned runs, has an ERA of 4.11, has a 1.7 whip, 10 strikeouts to 9 walks, and opponent batting average of 283. This one's drilled to right center, drops in for a base hit. He'll round first but hold up there, and it's a leadoff single for Ryan Jarvis.
Yeah, Bowman for a second was trying to backtrack over to first because he missed first base actually initially when he rounded it.
Would have been a huge mistake on Jarvis.
Yeah, of course. You're trotting back to first, so he was all right there. But, yeah, he definitely missed his first go-around.
Here's Jackson Crane. 0 for 1 today. Grounded out back to the pitcher his first time up. To put a bow on Torelli's night, went 2 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs. One of them was earned. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts through 59 pitches. But he is done. Pickoff attempt to first. Boy, that looked really close, but Bowman dropped it, and he is safe.
Yeah, I think if he didn't drop that one, I think he had him.
I think he did too. That ball definitely beat him to the bag.
Yeah.
But Bo couldn't hang on. Good pickoff move from Furry. 1-0. Squares the bunt, puts it down right in front of the pitcher's mound. Furry fires to first for out number 1.
Bunt, 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 bunt.
Oh, that's what everyone seems to be doing on the Hastings side. Brings up Weston Johnston. Singled and scored his first time up. That was in the 2nd inning. Runner in scoring position after the bunt from Ryan Jarvis. And again, it brings up the question, like with nobody out and a runner on first, they bunt. Obviously it moves them into scoring position, puts a little more pressure on Furry. But you give up an out. And obviously you don't always guarantee moving a guy over on a bunt because maybe he misses it or something.
Right.
But why not give the chance to swing away and move him over or score him? Popped up to center. Kwapnowski takes a few steps in, loses his hat, makes the catch for out number 2. The throw to second. Close play, but it gets back safely. Good decision from Kwapnowski.
Yeah, I just got a little giddy in my seat right there. That's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
It was pretty close. But Jarvis is able to get back to the bag.
Yeah, that's just that's one of those plays as a runner where I think you're just kind of like lazily walking back a little bit. Same as like a pickoff at first, and you're kind of getting caught off guard. So a little cannon out there from center, but a nice out nonetheless.
First pitch to Hilton. Drilled to center. That drops in for a base hit. Runner around third. Sam misses the grounder, and he will score. Jarvis goes second to home on the RBI single from Graham Hilton. I guess that's why you bunt with nobody out.
I guess that's why you bunt, yeah.
Puts them in scoring position, and then you trust the guys behind you to drive them in. And it works out for the Sodbusters, and they take a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, I think the theme of the game yesterday and today, or pardon me, earlier and this game is that there's runs that, yes, there might be earned, but, like, they can be avoided.
First pitch to the 9-hole hitter, Cooper Harrell. Furry on the mound. Pitch mix, fastball low to mid-80s, has a really good changeup. Mixes in a curveball, slider, and a 2-seamer every once in a while. Comes back with a fastball.
Guys cruising right on the outside corner of the plate. Some Greg Maddox action from Furry, as you mentioned. Not the fastest of 4-seamers, but still really solid action on the mound.
See if he goes to the changeup in front 0-2. He does. It's pulled to the first baseman, Bowman. He doesn't have to move an inch. The Busters get one back on an RBI single from Graham Hilton, and they lead it 4-2. 4-2 Sodbusters in the bottom of the third. Aaron Neals to lead things off. First pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Braden Cork back out for another inning. He's been solid. 3 strikeouts. They all came in the second. Dribbler up the first base line goes foul. Now, Spearfish has been pretty solid offensively when you just look at how many times they've gotten on base.
Right.
They just haven't been able to drive each other in.
Well, 7 hits game 1 and only 1 run to show for it is
and
not the greatest
walks.
ratio. Yeah, 6 walks too. Yeah, exactly.
6 walks. I mean, what is that, 13 guys on base?
At least.
Lifted out to right field, going down the line. It'll drop in for a base hit. At least a double for Neals, maybe more. He rounds second. The throw in from right will be cut off, and it's a leadoff triple for Aaron Neals.
Now that's the way to get the dugout bumping.
The third triple of the season for the Squatch, and Aaron Neals comes through.
Yeah, he put that one right down in the far corner, and again, those wooden walls, you kind of don't know what part of the plank it's about to hit off of, so really nice job by Neals to kind of sense that, and obviously Gonzo Mackenzao's over there at third base working the signals there.
Here's Sam Kwapnoski as the umpire gets a few more baseballs from the Spearfish dugout. Kwap today is 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first. Went 2 for 4 in game 1 today. First pitch misses low and in. Sam, a 6'2 junior from Columbus, Nebraska, just finished up his first year at Doane University. He used his JUCO years at North Iowa Area Community College from 22 to, technically 22 to 24, but played 23 in the 24 season. There's a strike on the outside corner. And he's got some of the craziest stats that you'll see in a spring season. Hit .433 his first year at Doane with a .523 on base. Just being close to 500 for on base is insane.
Right.
Hitting over is nuts. An .865 slug. Led the team with 52 RBIs, 14 home runs. Also had 17 doubles and scored 39 times. And get this, in 141 at-bats, he struck out 38 times.
Only 38 times.
Only 38 times. Swing and a miss. It's a drop third strike. The ball gets away. Sam will have first, and Aaron Neals comes in to score.
Well, talk about strikeouts. I mean, that'll work, though.
Yeah, a drop third strike, and it drives in a run on the pass ball. And Kwapnoski, it'll go down as a strikeout, but he has first base.
That'll do all day. Chase is probably looking for a better AB this time. Took 2 looking the first time around and then kind of got K'd real early.
Yeah, one of the fastest at-bats we've seen. And like you said last inning, the Squatch are starting to slow things down, take a couple extra pitches, foul some pitches off, and just slow down Cork as he has been flying through this lineup. Away for ball 2.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Pitcher wants to move fast, you make him slow down.
It's just like in basketball. When the offense wants to go fast, as a defense, you have to slow them down.
Right.
And vice versa. 2-0 on Scott. Breaking ball finds the top of the zone and it's 2-1. With Neals coming in, it's now 1-run ball game. And Sam is the game tie run after he reached on a drop third strike. The 2-1. Line left side and through for a base hit.
That's a way to do it.
First and second for Peyton Fort. And that's going to draw a meeting on the mound. The entire infield is going to talk this situation over. It's a huge game, but an even bigger series, and we've talked about it all day. But again, there are still games to be played after this series. But whoever comes out on top in this series is going to feel very good moving forward.
Right.
And obviously the Casper Spuds are still in the race as well.
Yep.
But when you look at what is controllable right now for both these teams, it is this game and getting a win in these next couple of days.
Absolutely. This game is huge, obviously, for Spearfish because right now the series is split. They won the first game last night, lost the first of the doubleheaders. That was the makeup rain game from Hastings earlier on in this season. They win this one, though, and all of a sudden they're up 1. They win tomorrow, they're up 2 on the series. That'd be huge for them. They'd actually take the lead in terms of the rankings. But as you mentioned, Spearfish still has Nebraska. They took that first game against the Prospects. Of course, they got another game against them, another makeup possibly for that whole second base debacle.
Oh boy, don't get us started. That was a whole thing, too. Corners in. Peyton Fort bunts it up the third base line. Third baseman crashes. The throw to first is dug out for out number 1. And the Sodbusters get a taste of their own medicine.
It's a really nice play there at first. Obviously, having second baseman go and cover it, had to get down onto one knee and pick that ball, which picking is never easy, especially if you're down there getting your knees dirty. But a good job right there from him. Still moves the runners over, though, to second and third. Runners in scoring position, only 1 out.
And was that Drew Vega, the second baseman, that covered first?
I thought it was, unless it.
I think it might have been Vega.
I thought so, yeah.
And since that's not his natural position, picking one off is good. Ground ball up the middle. Second baseman comes to the plate. The play is not in time.
Yeah, they're going to call that obstruction, I'd assume, even if he had the ball right there.
I think you're absolutely right. Kwapnowski scores from third, and that'll go down as a fielder's. Well, I guess it doesn't go down as a fielder's choice either.
You could tell that ball coming across from second into the infield, that was going to be a little bit left of where home plate is from where we're sitting. So you have to tag him from the side. If you're trying to tag him head on, that's absolutely obstruction. Sam beat that throw by just a second or two, and I think trying to slide in between his legs, I think you got to give him that one right there.
So we've got a tie ball game in the bottom of the third, and Nick Work with runners on the corners. And the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and Chase Scott. So I guess that goes down as an infield single. If he would have gotten him out, it would have been a fielder's choice. And I wouldn't be surprised if Foyer takes off at some point in this at-bat. If not the first pitch. He doesn't. But it's called a strike at the plate.
You can see him bouncing over there, though.
Yeah, that's why I thought he might have gone. He's got a lot of speed. And he's stolen 3 bags already this summer.
I wouldn't doubt he goes eventually. A good look here from the pitcher, but he might go on this next one.
The 0-1 long pause. He'll check on him. Scott still at third. Took a few steps off the bag.
Yeah, he's a quick guy. Of course, he wants to get a good lead, which is an instant tell for the pitcher that you might want to throw back at him, which he did just right there.
Runner takes off. Ground ball left side. They'll throw across the diamond. Good stretch from Jarvis for out number 2. But Scott comes in to score, and the Squatch take their first lead of the ball game.
And, AJ, what an idea to steal right there. Obviously, you can't tell where that ball is going from the bat right there, but that will absolutely be an opportunity for a double play ball, if not for the steal from Foyer. So that's a great baseball play. Get a run in, put a man on second, and just kind of give yourself a shot right there to get a run home. Nice job by the Squatch.
And a good job by Work as well to push it that way as well. Here is Ethan Mooser with a runner in scoring position and 2 down. First pitch is away. And, I mean, he could have pulled it and maybe try to go for like a hit-and-run style play there.
Sure.
When you push it, the shortstop isn't really expecting it, and he's already deep out there. So it would have been tough for him to come home, and the easiest play was at first. So you score with a run no matter what. Plus, like you said, with the runner taking second, it takes away the double play.
Absolutely.
2-0's the count on Mooser. Has a free base open for him, but then you risk bringing up Carson Rather, who has a single already in this ball game. And it's a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, it's a take all the way right there. Give yourself more life here in the bottom of the third inning. A good inning for the Sasquatch right now. 3 so far here in this third.
And they're just waiting. I mean, you talk about that first game, a lot of base runners, but only 1 run to show for it. And they've just been waiting all day for one of these innings where they start to pile on runs, string some things together, some timely hitting. They've just been waiting all day for an inning like this.
And AJ, you mentioned it yesterday, and I think it still rings true. Of course, last game was kind of an odd man outlier, if you will, but they normally have an inning where they string together a couple runs. They have had it for the past 6 games that they were winning before this past doubleheader here.
Well, now the Hastings catcher, Graham Hilton, is walking over to the Spearfish dugout. I think he might be asking for something from the trainer. Something's up with his hand.
Yeah, so he hit his hand pretty hard, or they hit his hand on that slide home from Sam Kwatnowski. He put his cleat right into his hand. You could see him checking it out afterwards, so I'm not sure if he's busted up a finger, dislocation, whatever it is. Maybe it's just some blood, and they'll wrap it up, but he's definitely asking about it a little bit.
I mean, that was a little bit ago now, so he's kind of been battling through it.
It was, yeah. You could tell that he was kind of just trying to shake it off, but of course, if you do something kind of messed up, more than messed up to your finger, that's not super fun, especially if you're a catcher with your right hand throwing it back every single time you got to grip that ball full strength. So even a jammed finger or a bruised finger, when you got to grip that thing fully, you're using all the muscles and veins there in your hand, so you're obviously putting some more pressure on that bruised or, malfunctioned area there.
Sam came over to check on him, make sure he's all right. Apologize for the cleat.
Apologize for the cleat. Yeah, and again, those spikes are not those are not plastic anymore.
Nope.
So
no, they are not.
Could have cut it. Who knows? It's definitely some metal right there. I can't tell. I think he might have gotten some tape on it. See if his hand turns a little bit more.
Maybe some gauze. If it got him on the backhand.
Yeah. Not super sure, but definitely just probably nothing too overly serious. Hopefully, if the trainer checked it out for him. Glad to see he's up and back to the plate right here. Keep the game moving.
Catchers are tough, man.
They really are.
Got to give credit to both guys behind the dish.
Absolutely.
Carson Rather for Spearfish and Graham Hilton for Hastings.
Tough hands, tough knees.
Yes.
Been for 9 innings there.
Yeah, not easy.
No.
And Hilton, he played the last game too, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he played behind the dish as well. So he's catching 14 innings today, and that is not easy, especially in this heat.
No, it is not.
His fellow catcher Rather's at the plate. Sure, he felt that one when he went over to check with the trainer.
I bet. That's something few positions can kind of assimilate with. You get a ball to the finger as a catcher, and all catchers are like, that didn't feel good.
No. Drops in for a strike. Nice pitch from Cork, who's been dealing for the Sodbusters, but has run into the bats here in the third. In the driver's seat, 1 and 2. Rather looking for some insurance runs. Pulled right side, first baseman waits for it. Jarvis steps on the bag for out number 3. But a big 3-run third inning for the Squatch, and they take their first lead of the day. 5-4 headed to the 4th.
too.
5-4 Squatch in the top of the fourth. A big 3-run third inning. As the bats came alive, a triple from Aaron Neals got it started. Kwapnowski beat out a drop third strike. And then Scott had a single, Foyer had a single, Mooser walked. And a big third inning, and the Squatch take their first lead of the day.
That always feels nice to kind of flip the script on Hastings. They had a really nice game earlier on. Sasquatch kind of pumping out some energy here in the later half of the night.
Will Furry back out for another inning of work in his first. He allowed 2 hits. 1 run did score, but it was unearned. Lined right side, and it'll drop in front of Mooser for a base hit. Hastings has done a really good job of getting their leadoff guys on. That is Loera's 3rd single of the night.
Got to give credit where credit's due. Loera's had some really nice taps out into the outfield. He's had some really nice plays at short today for them.
I mean, on the day, if you combine his ABs from earlier in game 1, that's his 4th base hit of the day.
Yeah.
And what is that, his 3, 4, 5, 6th time on base? He's been on base 6 of the 7 times he's come to the plate today.
Yeah.
Here's Drew Vega. He's 0 for 2 today with a couple of pop outs.
Vega was the guy who had a really nice cover there on that bunt. It was an inning and a half ago, I think, for Spearfish there at first.
Squares the bunt, puts it down up the third base line, but this one will go foul.
Yeah, talk about bunts. It's actually one of the first possibly solid bunts that went foul for Hastings. They've had a couple bounce back to the backstop or pop up high, but most of the ones they've actually gotten or laid down have been fairly solid. That one just rolled a little bit left right there.
And on turf, that thing's staying right down the line.
Yeah.
And it's probably a perfect bunt. But with the grass and the lip, that thing is not staying fair.
No, sir. No, sir.
Now he's got a swing with 2 strikes. You know, at least you'd think so.
You'd think so.
He squares to bunt. He leaves it out there, pulls it back, called strike 3 at the belt. Will Furry picks up his first K. Here is Luke Cosley. Cosley has struck out both times today. First time swinging, second time looking. Those both went on Torelli's scorecard. Breaking ball finds the zone.
That's a really nice pitch from Furry. He's done it a couple times. His arm angle almost decreases a little bit, not fully sidearm, but it kind of swings across the plate. It's really nice against left-handed hitters who don't know how to get their bat out there all the way.
Line drive right to Fort. The throw to first in time to get him. 4-3 double play started by Peyton Fort. And the Squatch lead by 1. Big time double play.
Fire me up, AJ. That's the way to do it right there. Get out of the inning fast, quick. Love it, man. Love it.
1, 2, 3. They go down in order the unconventional way. Jordan Bowman will lead things off when we come back. Leading things off for the Squatch is Jordan Bowman. He's 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. First pitch is inside for a strike. Joining us back in the press box is Cooper Smith. Coop.
What are you doing? Had a good time earlier. Had to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Great couple of innings in the first game. An absolute natural on the headset, I should say.
Thank you. Bounce back game here today.
Fingers crossed if it holds. Big hack and a miss, and Jordan goes down swinging.
A little bit of a rough day for Bo today.
Yeah, he had a really big night last night, 2 home runs and a double. He did single his first time up, but back-to-back Ks brings up Aaron Niels. Aaron a big triple to lead off the third inning, and that got the offense started. Scored 3 runs.
I think Aaron's someone that's probably going to take a step up here when we lose Peyton. I think he's going to see a lot more PT out there. I think he'll get out there with Nick on the corner, and he might throw him in somewhere because I think we're going to have to move. Lost his name.
Fort?
Completely blank. No, Fort's gonna be gone.
Yep. So they're gonna have to move Nick to second, is what you're saying?
Yeah, Nick's probably gonna have to go to second.
Yep.
So
does Aaron play some infield? Or is that what he's? I have to double check. I guess he's listed as an outfielder.
Any left fielder can put him on the hot corner. He'll be all right.
He'll figure it out, right? It's upstairs for ball 2. We still have some more guys coming in the second half.
That
so
is true. We have. I think I talked to Eric today. I think we have 6 more coming here in the next week and a half or so.
That's crazy. Lined left side, off the glove of Cross at third. Niels has a base hit. That's why they call it the hot corner.
The ball was drilled.
Yeah.
It was an absolute barrel.
Hot off the bat, and Cross had to go to his backhand on the short hop, and it just skipped off his glove.
He's cheating a little bit too much over on that third baseline with the righties up.
Here's Sam Kwapnowski, takes high for ball 1. Sam struck out his last time up, but reached on the drop third strike, and he came around to score. Ended up being a big run. It was the tying run at the time. It was a little controversial. I guess we couldn't really hear the umpire, the conversation, but was it called obstruction on the field?
So, no. So, what happened was it was pretty much – he was called out on the field.
Okay.
And then Matt, our third base coach, he went to protest and to get the obstruction.
Lined left side for a base hit. And that puts 2 aboard for Chase Scott.
And I think that was a big swing in the last game, that call there. We also had the double play call that we didn't get coming up on, I think it was the 5th inning, I believe, is when that double call play happened. But the obstruction, I think, was the real swing in the game. It was the tying run coming around, and we vowed for that it was obstruction, but we didn't end up getting it. And like we talked about, it's going to be hard to get those calls with only 2 umps and no review, because it's just difficult in that situation when one can't even see what's going on at the plate. So you really have to go off of the call on the field at that point.
But Sam also came in to score last time up, and it was a close play at the plate. And it looked like the throw might have beaten him, but they called him safe, and he pointed at the play, maybe obstruction. Ground ball to short, goes to third for the out. It'll be a fielder's choice on Chase Scott.
Interesting play there going to third. I thought he could have maybe turned the double there. Chase isn't typically the fastest getting down the line, but we'll take it.
Keeps the inning alive, but now 2 down as Niels is picked off at third. Peyton Fort digs in with 2 on and 2 down.
And if there's anybody you want up right now, it's got to be Peyton, especially after Bo going a little bit colder. Kyle not swinging the bat great today. So if there's anyone up right now, I think it is Peyton who you want up in this spot.
Kyle getting an off day, probably his first one since he's gotten here.
He's so hard to take out of the lineup. He brings so much, including fielding. Like one of the things that we've been talking about with the assistant GM Jared is having a 6'8" first baseman, 6'7" first baseman is just incredible, because it's very hard to overthrow a guy like Kyle Finn playing first.
Adds a big frame. especially on tough plays. This one's lined to center. It'll drop in for a base hit. Kwapnoski around third. The play at the plate is not in time. Run scores. The ball gets away. Both runners advance an extra 90 feet. And Peyton Fort picks up an RBI single.
I mean, right on call. Peyton Fort delivers like he has been doing all season, you know? Leads the league in hits, I believe, still.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's a huge lift, especially when you have a guy leading the lead in hits, usually batting in your 7 hole. I mean, you can't ask for much more from that guy.
It just shows you how few holes there are in this lineup. Everyone's hitting good and hitting on time as well. Peyton Fort, an RBI single, and the Squatch extend their lead to 2. And on the throw-in from center, both Scott and Fort picked up an extra 90 feet, so Ben Foyer has 2 in scoring position with 2 down. Lifted out to center. In is Kazi. Laying out. It drops in for a base hit. 2-run score, and Ben Foyer extends the lead.
He does that so well. Ben's never going to be a guy who's going to go out and hit 450 dead center, but he finds his spot on the field. Even if it doesn't come off the bat right, every time it comes off the bat, you feel like it has a chance to land.
3 for 3 day for Ben Foyer, and he picks up 2 more RBIs. It's 8-4. Brings up the 9-hole hitter, Nick Work. First pitch away. They'll check the runner at first, and the ball is off the glove of Jarvis. Foyer had a massive lead down there.
Nick Work is, I mean, pretty much just like a second leadoff guy at this point, especially with his speed and everything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they send Ben through here to second on a steal.
He's got a lot of speed down there. 3 stolen bases on the year for Ben. Stays put this time. Work takes a strike on the inner half of the plate.
So, I mean, you get a guy like Ben on second, a base hit is almost a guaranteed run.
Even right now, if you put one in the corner, he's scoring. 1-1. Foyer takes off. Call the strike at the plate. The throw down is not in time. Ball got by him.
Right on cue.
In and out of the glove.
Ben backs me up right there.
Close play. Looked like the ball might have beaten him there, but I think it popped out of the glove of Vega.
Yeah, big base hit here from Nick would do a lot. It would put us at 9 for sure. So, be a great lead going into the top.
Big gap to the right side, but he pops it up. It will get out of here. 2-2. I mean, the second baseman Vega's playing up the middle, and the first baseman Jarvis is covering the line. If he's able to punch one through the right side, that scores Foyer easily.
Something he does so well, though, he just puts bat on ball. You know, he's not a high strikeout guy. Usually most of his outs are ground outs, but you would much rather that than going down and not giving yourself a chance.
2-2. Breaking ball. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire. And Nick Work goes down swinging for the first strikeout of the night. Excuse me, the second strikeout of the night for Cork. Make that 6. The second strikeout this inning. 8-4 as we head to the 5th inning when we come back. 8-4 Squatch, top of the 5th. Will Furry back out for another inning of work. And starts Brock Cross out with a breaking ball strike.
Since he stepped in for Terrilli, other than that run I believe he gave up in the 3rd, he has been dialed in since that moment.
Big hack and a miss on another breaking ball, 0-2. Well, we actually were told yesterday that he was going to start, but Terrilli came out, ate up a couple of innings, and now Furry is out there.
Looks like Bob is down there warming up in the pen as well, so look forward to that coming, probably next inning.
Breaking ball, strike 3 called. 3 pitches, 1 out. And another backwards K for Will Furry.
This umpire probably has my favorite mannerisms out of any ump we've ever seen. The point down the first baseline when it's a strike is so emphatic. It's my favorite that I've seen so far.
Ryan Jarvis digs in. He is 1 for 2 today. Reached on error in the 1st, and then singled and scored in the 3rd. First pitch from Furry's in the dirt. Another beautiful night in Spearfish as the sun starts to set.
I mean, there's nothing better than this. This is the best view in the league, arguably one of the best views in all of baseball. The Black Hills in the back, I mean, there's just nothing better. Arguably mountains.
Arguably. I would say they're mountains.
You're from Iowa.
Yeah.
That's
why.
That
is why.
That is an argument we can have for another day.
To me, they're mountains. I understand they're called the Black Hills, but they look like mountains.
That one right in front of us, I would also consider a mountain.
It's a mountain of a hill. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
I like that.
That's how we can describe it.
The Black Hill Mountains.
Black Hill Mountains. That works too.
I'm just coming up with new names.
But no, I mean it's great weather out here. You can't ask for anything more. Yesterday was a little bit rocky, but we still got our game in, which is all that matters.
Line drive. Fort waits for it, picks it up on the long hop. Throw to first goes wide. Ryan Jarvis is aboard on the error from Peyton.
That's a rough one. Luckily, he didn't advance any. Luckily, he didn't go into the dugout, and he was on second. Runner in scoring position with 1 out. So still a chance to turn 2 here.
Brings up Jackson Crane. He has ground out to the pitcher both times. I would assume they're both on bunts. This one's popped straight up into the air and get over our heads.
Yeah.
I guess this is, in terms of Hastings, it's another bunting chance.
They have 1 out here. Maybe they choke up and put 1 into play here. He hadn't squared yet, but they like to square with 2 outs. So we'll see. Sorry, excuse me, 2 strikes.
Yeah, they did that. Was that the last game that they put down a bunt with 2 strikes?
They put down a bunt with 2 strikes, and he hadn't squared before that. I thought that was a pretty interesting play, but I guess whatever you got to do to throw the pitcher off
and get on base, as long as it works. Inside for ball 2. I've only seen that one other time. It was when I was calling a game for Iowa, and Blake Guerin, who is not the fastest guy in the world, but he put down a beautiful bunt to walk it off. I believe that was against Nebraska, I want to say. I could be totally wrong, but I think it was Nebraska. He put down a bunt with 2 strikes at the bottom of the 9th to walk it off. It was electric.
That's incredible.
It was electric. Here's the 2-1. And it's low. I guess that was 3-1.
3-1.
So a free base for Jackson Crane. It passed Indiana. See, I knew it was a red team.
We were almost there.
It was Indiana. I couldn't remember if it was Nebraska or Indiana. Called both of those series.
Fellas, do we think that there's going to be a 10K winner this year? Hasn't happened yet in Spearfish
It's a grand
history.
slam, right?
It's a grand slam bottom 6.
It has to be the bottom of the
bottom
slam.
6.
Interesting.
Do you think we see one this year?
You know what? Yes.
You know, why not this year? Why not a bunch of firsts this year for the Squatch?
I mean, Finn's been hitting a ton of homers. Quap's hit a couple. Jordan hit 2 last night. This one's driven to center. Kwapnoski over. Comes in, makes the catch for out number 2, and everybody stays put.
Quap also has a grand slam on the year, so.
He does.
If you want a guy up there, that's who you want if you get there. So I would love to see it happen this year.
I think it'd be great.
Hopefully when my parents are here. That'd be pretty electric.
So it's 10K.
10K. You know how
Grand
much you can
slam.
do with 10 grand for
Pay rent.
just because someone hit a home
I
run?
could pay rent.
Could pay rent. Paying rent would be cool.
I would love to pay off my rent, my debt.
Just closed on an apartment, so I could.
Oh, attaboy.
I could pay a few months for it. That wouldn't be
There
too
you
bad.
go. Yeah, a few months with 10K. And get me back to Iowa with gas money. Line to center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Runner from second will come around third. The throw will be cut off by Bowman. And Ryan Jarvis goes second to home on the 2-out single from Graham Hilton.
That error does end up coming back to bite us. It's been a talking point this year. A lot of errors, a lot of walks. I mean, obviously they're a killer to any team, but I think especially this year that has been one of the major talking points on why we give up so many runs. But one thing about this lineup is they score runs. So.
And recently it's been cleaned up a little bit, but today the errors and the free bases have certainly hurt the Squatch.
I believe we had 3 or 4 first game, and now we're back up to 3 this game. So that's at least 6 or 7 on the day.
Pitch finds the zone for strike one. And even talking with the coaches, they're like, we know we need to clean it up. You know, get some of the dust off, shake the rust off. But you're right. Today it's been one of those days where it feels like you turn back the clock a little bit to that first week, and a lot of free bases, a lot of errors, keeping the opponent in the ball game. The last few weeks that hasn't been the case. The free bases have gone down. There was one game against Hastings where they didn't, it was against Fremont. They didn't let up a single free base. And that's where you kind of felt that turning point for this team. But you're right. That first game, a couple of errors, a lot of free bases, untimely hitting. And in this one, 3 errors and a couple of free bases from both pitchers. And Hastings has stayed in this ball game despite the Squatch having 10 hits and 8 runs.
I think one thing that is encouraging, though, this game we look up the scoreboard, and they don't have more runs than they have hits. So I think that was a big killer for us last game. The free bases last game were huge for them. And so I think it's been cleaned up a little bit. Those errors.
Boy.
What's the call here?
I think the home plate umpire said it was a foul ball. Everyone else thought it was a strikeout. See if he tipped it into the glove of Rather or if he just straight up missed it.
Looked like it hit the ground there. Just saw the replay.
Oh, they call him out.
Call him out on the field.
So a strikeout on Cooper Harrell leaves a couple of base runners on. And Will Furry has 3 Ks in 2 innings, and the Squatch lead it 8-5.
No, it's all good. Just went this way a little bit. Appreciate it, man. All good? All good. Where'd that ball go? Is that it?
Leading off the bottom of the 5th for Spearfish is the right fielder, Ethan Mooser. Digs in. He is 0 for 2. Ground out in the first, a strikeout in the second, and a walk in the third. Back out for another inning is Braden Cork. He's been great for Hastings despite the 8 runs on the scoreboard. 6 strikeouts, but the bats have come alive here in this second game. Thank you to Cooper Smith for joining us there for an inning. He might come up later on and hop back on the headset. Boy, it's been a long day. But Aiden Wirtz is going to hop back on here, our producer, director, and color commentator, doing it all up here for us.
Yeah, it's a bit of exercise, too. Once in a while, camera gets messed up. You got to go run down and get it. But you know what? A little extra cardio never hurt the heart. Well, actually, it probably did. But
it
safely.
Hurts. Yes, as long as it hurts it safely.
AJ's the runner, though. 5 miles for AJ this morning, prepping for the Chicago Marathon in October, maybe?
Yep, right? October, early October.
Love it. Love it.
It's going to be a good time.
Hopefully, yeah.
I guess it's never, you're going to be in a lot of pain, but the reward afterward is what we're going for.
I think it'll be great. You guys will do great.
2-0 on Mooser is away for ball 3.
Yeah, tough prep sometimes, no doubt, but I think once you're done with it, you'll think, that's 26 miles I just ran.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
In one go.
Right? Exactly.
It's crazy.
Marathons really are a pretty weird little phenomenon. Like somebody one day was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm just going to run 26 miles.
It's 26.2. Who decided that 26.2 is the marathon?
Well, you know what? I don't know, and honestly.
Lift it out, down the left field line, foul. You can look it up?
Look really nice. Yeah, I'm going to look it up here and see if we could find anything. I'm sure there's a reason or a guy who created it and was like, yeah, this is why it's going to be 26.2. But to me, who I don't know anything really about them, let's look it up. Why are marathons 26.2 miles?
Because I understand like 5Ks are 3.1, 10Ks or whatever. So
there is a reason. I'll tell you right after this.
Okay. Swing and a miss. And down goes Mooser.
All right, so the marathon distance of 26.2 miles, 42.195 kilometers, by the way, is a result of the 1908 London Olympics, where the course was set to start at Windsor Castle and finish in front of the Royal Box at the Olympic Stadium. This specific distance, 26 miles, 385 yards, was later adopted as the standard for marathons by the International Amateur Athletic Federation in 1921.
Huh.
So there you have it. The 1908 Olympics you have to thank for your pain and suffering in October.
I guess so. So it's just because that's how the course was set, and there's like, good enough.
Yep, and they figured that's pretty royal. Windsor Castle, yeah. Marathon, marathon worthy, yeah.
We're going to call it a marathon.
Yeah. I wonder where does the word stem from anything, though, like the word marathon.
It's got to be from that, right?
Unless the word marathon is something else, and like the marathon is 26.2.
Fouled away. For any runners out there, we're doing the research for you. Finding the fun facts of the day.
Does the word marathon stem from? Let's see. What does Google have to say? Okay.
1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
So, the word marathon stems from the legend of, I'm going to butcher this name, Pheidippides? I don't know.
Pheidippides.
I don't know. a Greek messenger who ran,
1-2.
Who ran from the Battle of Marathon to Athens in an ancient Greece to announce the Greek victory. So, he was a messenger who ran, quote-unquote, the marathon.
Ground ball, right side. Vega picks it up and throws out Mooser for out number 2. So what if I just went out and ran a random number of miles?
Right.
And called it something else?
You might have to have a little more authority. Like, I think a Greek god and messenger is a pretty solid title.
I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess.
But, like, if you go out there and run 42.1 miles and say it's because of something.
It's because I felt like it. How about that?
This new race is called the Take That.
Yeah.
It's all one word, though.
Take That.
Oh, what are you running next week? Take That?
Take That.
Take That?
Take it. I'm running a Take That.
I'm running Take That.
42.1 miles. Put that on a sticker. See that on a bumper.
Take That.
0-2. Swing and a miss. And Cork says, take that.
Yeah, he'll take that.
That is his, that's his 9th strikeout of the day. Is that Yeah. That's his that's his 8th strikeout of the day. But he is dealing right now despite the 8 runs on the board. 8 strikeouts for Brandon Cork. 8-5 lead for the Squatch as we head to the 6th. New pitcher for the Squatch is the 6'3 senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Pitches for Emmanuel University. It's Jonathan J.J. Neal. He took one to the head his last time out, and that was his first appearance of the year. It was against Oahe in the home series last weekend. Threw 1 inning, and the last out of that inning, it went off the side of his face and into the glove of Peyton Fort. And he had a big old, I guess it wasn't a goose egg, but it was a pretty big bump.
Look a little bit like cauliflower ear in a sense.
Yeah, and it was off his, I believe it was his right ear.
Right ear.
Yeah, you could, if you looked behind his right ear, it looked like it was a pretty big bump.
Yeah.
But he's doing all right now, obviously, and he's back out to throw, which is good to see. Steps off the mound to reset. Leading things off for Hastings is the leadoff hitter, Christian Lorea. 3 for 3 today with 3 singles. And he foul tips into the glove of Rather. The 2-1. Breaking balls upstairs for ball 3.
AJ, you never had an off-speed. You said you were mainly a fastball pitcher, but if you could throw any off-speed perfectly, what would be the one?
Slider, no doubt.
Slider?
I think having a good slider is so nasty. Like, if you have a good curveball, that's great. It has a lot of break to it, but it slows down. But a slider, if you can get it to break the way you want and have a little speed to it, that's a great swing and miss pitch, and it is virtually unhittable.
Well, think about some of the great fastball pitchers. I mean, in recent memory, right, Aroldis Chapman had a nasty slider.
Yep.
When he went from a 102 fastball to an 81-mile-per-hour slider, cut off 20. I mean, that's just absurd to see down there.
Looks like the slider all of a sudden looks like batting practice, and you're way in front of it.
Right.
And because you're not ready because you're expecting 102.
And normally your batting practice doesn't have crazy movement on it.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out at like batting practice, and it breaks like it's got a string attached to it.
Right.
Yeah, I think a really good slider is what I would pick.
Yeah. That'd be fun. It'd be real fun.
Drew Vega at the plate. Takes upstairs for ball 3. If you're Neal, you don't want to be giving up too many free bases. The Sodbusters not afraid to put down a few bunts and score runs the old-fashioned way. And there's a 4-pitch walk. Back-to-back free bases.
Yeah. Up 3 runs right now, AJ. You can't really afford too many free bases. Got to get an out in this next couple of batters, at least this next batter for sure.
Jackson Peters up and roaming around in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Never an exciting sight if you're the opposing team.
Not at all.
When you replace the glove with a scythe and you've got what Jackson Peter is. Luke Causey, excuse me. He is due up next. He struck out twice and then hit into a double play on a great turn from Peyton Ford as it was hit right at him and then threw out Loera at first base.
I think after 14 innings of baseball and you're reading off last names, they just kind of all jumble together.
Yeah, and some of them are a little bit tougher than others. Like Loera, it kind of looks like Loera, but it feels like there should be a W in there somewhere.
Right.
And then Causey, it's like Cause, and then you add double E, Cause E.
Right. I had a friend back in high school. His name was Paul Cozy, spelled the same way, but it's just pronounced a little different. And that's the other thing, pronunciations, you know?
Yeah. It's hard.
Tis.
Causey digs in with 2 on and nobody out. JJ's still out there. Misses upstairs. Now, Jackson can go a couple of innings if he needs to, but of course you'd rather him just come in for 1.
Right. You get out of this inning here, no harm, and Jackson can come in and do his work in the last one.
1-0 upstairs for ball 2.
6 straight balls right here. I forgot if he's got a couple more. He might have had 7 or 8 straight balls going back to the first hitter of this inning, but definitely 6 or more here. Needs to find the zone, JJ does.
There it is. Comes back with a fastball, 2-1.
I think that's one of the biggest keys you could probably tell yourself in your head is, you want to think about the runners on, you want to hold them on, but obviously let's just focus on the batter right now.
That's the biggest battle right now as he is the game-tying run. Upstairs, ball 3.
And I know it's 3-1 and you give yourself 3-2 if you take this, but it's almost hard not to take right now with the last couple pitches being balls here. I wouldn't count it out for him not to.
Does swing, and he's over the top of it. It's a full count.
Definitely tell JJ took some speed off that one, even though it wasn't one that had too much movement on it. But 3-2 puts himself back in a position to give himself the first out of this inning. Really wants it, really needs it right here.
Or get him to roll over into a double play.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what they need right now. Full count, nobody out. Swing and a miss. Down he goes, and J.J. Neal picks up his second strikeout of the season, his first tonight.
That is absolutely huge. You put 3 runners on, no outs in an inning where you're down by 3, or pardon, where we're up by 3, but only 2 innings left, 6 outs left. Yeah, not a pretty position there.
Here is Brock Cross. Walked in, scored in the first, popped out in the second, and struck out looking in the 5th. First pitch is way outside for ball 1.
Beautiful sunset coming over the first base line right now. AJ, as you mentioned, the Black Hill Mountains.
Yeah. I mean, they're
pretty nice.
Big and vast. Look like mountains. Puts down a bunt up the third base line. Work comes in. Fires across the diamond in time.
So we're bunting again. We got 2 outs right now. Runners on second and third. They do advance them. I will say that bunt is not – I wouldn't say it's not worthy. But, you got 2 outs right now. You need 3 runs. You got 4 outs left. I don't know if that's the best thing I'd do. Obviously, Spearfish hasn't been the best at defending the bunt today. But
also now you're already running out of outs to play with. So I don't know why you give that up, and why not continue to play with as many outs as you have,
right,
especially late in a ball game where you're trailing. If you're up, I get that, but nonetheless, it's a new pitcher for the Sasquatch The Grim Reaper, Jackson Peters, will take over on the mound. A decent day for J.J. Neal. Did put a couple of runners on, but picks up a big strikeout. And he'll hand it over to the Grim Reaper. Jackson Peters hasn't allowed a run yet this season. Leads the team in Ks. We'll see what he can do when we come back. Well, it's never fun when you're the opposing team and you see Jackson Peters coming out of the bullpen. He has one of the funkiest deliveries in all of baseball, and he has been on an absolute tear ever since he's gotten to Spearfish. First pitch pounds the zone for a strike. He's thrown 21 Ks, has walked 5, and has not allowed an earned run this season in 11 2/3 innings of work. He has Ryan Jarvis. Now, Hastings did see him in the first road series. He pitched 2 games, a total of 2 2/3. He struck out 7. 7 guys, and he faced 13. 1-1 is lifted down the left field line, giving chases. Neal's in foul territory. It'll drop harmlessly to the dirt. But now, Ryan Jarvis is up against the ropes against the Grim Reaper. First and second, 2 down in the top of the 6th. Hastings trying to keep this inning alive and at least make it a little easier for themselves in the 7th. Peters has been lighting up our pocket radar this summer. Has been consistently in the high 80s, low 90s. Pitches the 1-2. Away, 2-2. He said before this summer he couldn't really consistently hit 90 plus, but in one of the first outings at home, he hit 92, and he said, I don't remember the last time I've done that.
Me neither.
Yeah. The sun setting here in Spearfish. Just a few rays of sunshine left on the field, and Jackson Peters bearing down in a full count. Stays alive. Good at bat from Jarvis.
It's really solid at bat. He's been in a pretty tough count so far, obviously facing the ropes. He had that 1-2 right now. Has worked to a 3-2 versus Jackson Peters, probably one of the most infamous closers in the IBL right now.
Long look in. Now comes set. Kicks and whips it. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Make it 22 on the year for the Grim Reaper.
Gross, dirty, smell, whatever you want to call it. I just did that. Cooper's over here. We just did that little stank face you do.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful pitch in the inside corner.
Jackson Peters is on a tear like no other. 8-5, headed to the 7th. Brandon Cork is finally done. He threw 5 innings, allowed 10 hits, 8 runs, 4 walks, but struck out 8. Despite the runs on the board, a great outing for Cork. And he'll hand the ball over to the freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma, Nate Fisher, making his 7th appearance of the year. He's thrown 8 2/3, has an ERA of 4.15, has 5 strikeouts to 4 walks. The freshman pitches for Northeastern Oklahoma A&M, and he'll face things off against Aaron Niels. 2 for 3 today with a triple and a single. He scored once. His last time up, he he hit into a base hit, but was thrown out at third on a fielder's choice. The sidewinder fires, and it's drilled foul from Niels. Sampson back up in the press box with us.
What's going on, Samps? How you doing today?
He's here every single game day, hyping up the crowd and keeping us engaged as well up here in the press box. We appreciate it, as always. It was your day yesterday. It was mascot night last night. Had a great time with it, and as always, leading the fans and keeping it light and fun here at the ballpark.
Always good vibes with Sampson.
Always.
Great mascot. Couldn't ask for a better one.
I mean, when you're called a Sasquatch, I mean, you got to have a sick mascot, right?
It comes with a reputation.
Yes.
You know, there's a chip on the guy's shoulder every day he walks into the building to be the best at what he does.
I mean, look at this kid's windup. Popped up to shallow right. Second baseman's out, and he makes the catch through Vega for out number 1. But we have to take a look at this kid's windup, Nate Fisher. I mean, he starts so low, and he's almost like doing a lunge when he comes set. And then he throws almost submarine.
Yeah, it's definitely funky. Not many, I can guarantee you not many pitchers like it.
No.
And maybe not even just in the league, maybe in the world. There was I believe they played for the Moo. They're very similar wind-up.
Quap puts down a bunt, but it's fouled off the plate.
But the dude on the Moo did not throw submarine. I've never seen a dip like this and throw submarine at the same time. So I think it's something that they're definitely going to have to get used to. I don't know if we saw him.
We did. I actually do remember this kid when I went down there with the team when we played Hastings. I do remember seeing him. Obviously, it's tough to read the ball out of his hand because he hides it so well behind his back, and then he whips his arm across submarine.
I think that's one of the most interesting things about being a pitcher in baseball is just the complete fact of you can throw the ball any way you like it as long as it works for you.
Ground ball to short. It's Loera. Throws out Kwapnowski for out number 2.
As long as you can get the ball in the strike zone, you can be successful no matter how you throw the ball. And I think one thing that this kid takes advantage of is it's different than anything else, and that might be – and it very well could be part of the reason he's at this level of baseball. How he's gotten this far is the funky delivery, and he hides the ball really well. It's hard to see out of the hand.
Well, it's very similar to the mindset of Jackson Peters. I mean, he said he never even realized his second leg kick. Ground ball to third. It's Cross who throws across the diamond, and the tag is applied on Scott for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Spearfish Sasquatch down in order, and the last chance for the Sodbusters to try and make a comeback and either push extras or take a lead. 8-5 when we come back. Last chance for the Sodbusters in the top of the 7th on the back end of this doubleheader. They took game 1 5-1 from the Sasquatch to move 2 games in front and in sole possession of first place. But the Sasquatch, if they're able to hold on here in the 7th, have a chance tomorrow to tie the Sodbusters for first place.
I mean, it just makes up for a blockbuster Thursday night here in Spearfish.
It does.
I guarantee you this stadium will be packed out tomorrow. I believe – I'm not sure what theme day it is tomorrow, but we do have a theme day every day.
Is it Nerf night tomorrow?
I believe it is Nerf night tomorrow, actually.
Got on the top of the dome. Don't you worry.
Off the top of the dome. That's why we're all interns here.
Yep.
We all know what we're doing somewhat.
So, yeah, bring your Nerf stuff, whether it's a Nerf gun, Nerf football. Do they have like a Nerf bat or something, baseball themed?
Not sure about a Nerf bat, but we actually will have Nerf football here. So we're gonna have a long toss.
Yes.
We're gonna have a long toss, and then after the game, kids can also get on the field and enjoy a little Nerf brawl, if you want to say.
Nice. Should have brought my Nerf gun from Minnesota.
I think we might be supplying a few for our interns to have some fun.
Can I snipe you guys while you're walking past the press box?
Maybe you could if you want to. We're going to have targets set up around.
Oh, this is going to be so fun. Jackson Peters is having fun on the mound.
I mean, he's having fun every day he touches a baseball, you know? I mean, this kid just breathes pitching.
I mean, he talks to me after most of his outings, and he watches all of his outings back. And he'll one time after one of his outings, I think it was last week against Hawaii, he like brought it up to me, and he was breaking down each of his pitches for me as we were watching it back. And his fastball has so much break on it. It's just a regular four-seam fastball. Oh, boy, that one's off the dome. Watch out.
That one probably hurt a little bit. But back to what you were saying, yeah, it's almost like a sinker.
Yes.
It has a little bit of a sinker look to it when it comes out of the hand. And I think eventually he might later down the line try to develop it if he continues to play ball at this high of a level, develop into a sinker, because I think that's something more you see nowadays with the sweeper, and also now the slurve instead of the slider is a big one.
Yep.
So I think he might work with the right coach and get him in that motion where he can throw that 90-mile-an-hour sinker and paint an edge every time.
Well, he broke it down because I asked him how does he throw his fastball to get that much cut on it. And he said he holds it like a regular four-seam fastball, but with his middle finger. And what a lot of guys do, with his middle finger, he puts a little extra pressure on it when he releases, and it adds a little bit more rotation, and it makes it cut a little bit more and has that movement left to right. And it's really nasty, and it cuts in on these lefties, which he's facing now with Graham Hilton after plunking Jackson Crane.
I was talking to BY this weekend, actually, about Jackson a little bit, and he says that it is one of the hardest things to catch that he's ever caught in his life. He had him throw one at him one time, and he said the movement, he doesn't understand how a catcher makes that play every time. So all props to our man behind the dish today. So it's a tough thing to look at, and if it's hard for a catcher to catch, imagine how hard it is for a hitter to hit.
Yes. That's the key, right, is how hard is it to hit. And Jackson Peters is one of the hardest guys to get a base hit off of in the Independence League.
I mean, I would confidently say this guy, if he had starter stamina, this guy would be the most dominant pitcher in the league by far. And arguably, if he had starter stamina, he might not be on the mound for us right now. So
he's in the transfer portal right now, trying to find a new home. Called a strike on the outside corner. Hilton didn't like that one. But he's got baseball in his blood. His dad played in the Montreal Expos system, made it all the way up to AAA. And his dad actually pitched at Arkansas.
I mean, you look at the guy and
strike three called, backwards K. 3 strikeouts on the night for Jackson Peters.
That is the same exact pitch in the same exact spot. It's incredible how he does it back. Every night he goes out on that mound. You're lucky if you get a run.
New hitter. That's a pinch hitter here. Cooper Harrell will take his seat, and Jaden Shabry will take over at the plate. Shabry played last night. He's a freshman from Boulder Creek, California. Just finished up his senior year of high school, going into his freshman year of college. Does not have a college listed on the roster. So don't know if he's just uncommitted, not going to college, going to go into the trades. That one's low for a ball too.
Maybe it's a one last summer hoorah for him.
Well, yesterday, Shabry went 0 for 2 with a walk, trying to keep this game alive as the Sodbusters are down to their final out. The throw down to first from Rather is not in time. Wouldn't that be an electric way to end the game?
I mean, I feel like all of our catchers in general have incredible pop time. I mean, I don't know the exact count on how many runners we've thrown out on the bases this year, but do a pretty solid job of it.
It's a lot. The 2-1 popped up and fouled away, and the Sodbusters are down to their final strike.
I have a feeling Jackson might erupt if he gets this strikeout here.
The Grim Reaper looking to put an exclamation point on a long day at the ballpark. 2-2, 2 down. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. 4 strikeouts for the Grim Reaper to close out the 8-5 victory.
Jackson Peters, man, we're going to preach it all year. There's nothing better than watching this guy step up to the mound. You just know that the game is going to be over when he gets on that mound.
He faced 5 batters and struck out 4. Talk about dominance. And the Grim Reaper sheathes his scythe. And the Squatch move back within a game of first place.
I mean, one thing about him, though, it's not just the strikeouts, it's the way he does it. It's clinical, it's efficient. It's just some of the best pitching I've seen in my life, if I have to be honest with you.
You never know where to look, and by the time you blink, you're out. 4 Ks, 3 of them swinging, 1 of them looking. Make it 25 strikeouts on the year for Jackson Peters, and he's on a tear like no other. And Peters is going to be named player of the game. Takes the mic from Megan. And the Squatch pick up their 14th win of the season. The Sodbusters and the Squatch will play for first place tomorrow night. If the Hastings Sodbusters take it, they will be 2 games in front. If the Squatch win it, they will be tied for first place. It's a huge game tomorrow and massive playoff implications on the line. 8-5 the final. When we come back, we'll talk with one of the assistant coaches to break it all down and get you ready for tomorrow night. 8-5 the final in Game 2. A.J. Reister now joined with assistant head coach Ryan Bachman. Coach, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Can't spend a better day at the ballpark than, at the birthday. So.
Well, you got the birthday W.
Yes, needed that.
Yes. The first game didn't quite go your guys' way, but you were able to bounce back, get some timely hits, and some good pitching as well at the end.
Yeah, it's just, you have those. It's baseball. It's a lot of games and not very many days. You can't win them all, and I was proud of the guys that they were able to bounce back and be able to win a game that had, big kind of implications for the postseason. So that puts us right back in a good spot to try to win tomorrow, and then it's, got to handle business still, but we're in a good spot. So.
Yep. And the first thing that I noticed in Game 2 when I looked at the lineup is that Hastings had the exact same lineup, but you guys had almost a completely different lineup, and that was a conversation we had yesterday, just how deep this team is,
Absolutely.
and it's almost like a plug-and-play. What's it like? Obviously, Scott's now making the lineup, but what's it like to know that you have the depth to almost put any guy out there and have that depth and know that, hey, anybody could have a day and get us the win?
Absolutely, and I think it just helps these guys too. I was in their shoes for a few years, and I know how tough it is to try to play every day and try to keep both physically well but also mentally well too. And obviously it makes it easy on us coaches because we can kind of plug and play like you said, but I think the biggest thing is that it's easier on these guys. They can take a rest day when they need it. They don't got to feel like they got to battle through the aches, pains, just being tired. That was a long day of baseball and a beautiful day, but man, hot out there. It's tough to do. So, and again, the mental part is probably the biggest part of it all. The ups and downs. You got to try to grind out that stuff, but it's just having that depth that we have helps so much in the way of just giving guys a break when they need it, not having to feel like we got to force guys out there and into situations that maybe they're not going to be as successful in.
Now, Hastings played a lot of small ball today, and that's something that they've done a lot this season. What's going to be the conversation going into tomorrow to prepare for some of those bunts that just snuck by or had a tough time fielding?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just know where we're going, but also to try to get into situations where they can't play the small ball, right? Like try to get ahead in some counts and try to, just minimize guys on base early in the inning. So that's the best way to defend it, I think. And they're gonna bunt for hits, they're gonna play small ball, and good for them. That's the way they play, and they've won a lot of games that way. But on our part, it's just trying to minimize that by not giving them the situations to be able to do it in.
Now, on the offensive side of things, it just felt like all day we were waiting for that breakout inning from the bats. Finally got it there in that second game. What does it take to get that big inning? Because there were a lot of chances in that first game, had some chances early in the second game, but finally just to break through. Is there anything different that happens that you finally just get that breakthrough inning?
I wouldn't say so. Like you said, we had a ton of opportunities in game one. I think we were either 5 out of 7 or 6 out of 7 that we left runners in scoring position on, So it's one of those things that it's baseball. It's tough to hit, and especially it's tough to hit with runners in scoring position. You just got to give yourself the chances to do it, and hopefully you can come through a few times, So I think the biggest thing is just trying to. This might sound counterintuitive, but to minimize how important runners in scoring position are. If you're going up there as a hitter and you're trying to do so much because it's a runner's in scoring position, I got to drive him in, then you're going to be doing too much or getting out of your approach. And so trying to just make sure the guys are knowing that they're good enough hitters with where they're at right now to just go out there. It doesn't matter where the runners are at. Just try to hit something hard and stick to their approach.
And once again, we end a game talking about Jackson Peters. He comes out, throws an inning and a third, picks up 4 Ks. There's not too many guys in this league that have been able to do what he does. Now he has 25 strikeouts this season.
Man, he's a stud, and he's exactly what we want to have in these tight games. But I think a big thing too is JJ went out there in that inning, didn't have his best stuff, but was able to scrap 2 runs. Keep runners on base but not scoring, and then we make the decision to get Peters in there knowing that he's just got to get 1. And so JJ did a great job there just to battle through that and to put us in a position again to be successful. And then we go to our donkey and just go win a game, and it just gives me a lot of peace when I see that guy running out there, and he's a great arm, he's a great mindset for that role. You got to be have a special kind of mind to come in those situations, and Peter's perfect for it. So
yeah, another great outing for Jackson, another electrifying ending. But now we get ready for tomorrow. Now back a game behind Hastings for first place. You win tomorrow, you're tied for first place, leaving this home series. What should we expect tomorrow from the guys?
Oh, I think they're going to be fired up. I think today it was a day where, again, you're going to have them. It's a long day, been playing a lot of baseball, but usually you're able to bounce back quick from those. And we grinded through today. We got one, we split, and kind of the goal coming in is we got to get at least 3 out of 4, and then we're going to be in a good spot. So get this one tomorrow. A win is going to make those 5 days off feel a lot better. And then we're kind of, controlling our own destiny a bit. We're tied for it. We got a lot more games in hand than they do. So we only got 3 more, and I know they got a few more than that. So try to go out and take care of business in those last 3, and I think we're going to like where we're at. So
any big plans for the birthday today?
No, it's the doubleheader I got to go play golf this morning, which is always good.
There you go.
Doubleheader today, so we're gonna celebrate this weekend on the 5-day off and enjoy it. So it's good.
Awesome. Well, enjoy it. Happy birthday again, and
Appreciate
congrats
you.
on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. 8-5 the final, but don't go anywhere. We'll finish up the post-game recap when we come back. A long day at the ballpark ends in an 8-5 win for the Sasquatch, and they get back within 1 game of first place. A.J. Reister now alongside Aiden Wirtz, who's been producing, directing, calling the game a bit as well. It was really hot when we got started with the first game, but it's really cooled off. Thank you again, Samson.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Great day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what he's got to go through in that
suit. Oh man,
on
brutal.
a day that's
the
hot
thing
this.
is, I think he watches these. So if you watch these or you listen to them, Samson, thanks for all you do, because that suit's got to be steamy, man.
Yeah, that's nice, especially for a doubleheader like this.
Can't guarantee I smell any better after a sweaty day, to be honest with you.
No,
but deodorant is on the grocery list for tomorrow, probably. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But nonetheless, the Squatch split the doubleheader today. Obviously, would have loved to get them both.
Yep.
It would have given us the sole lead of first place today.
Yep.
And plus, it would have been great for Bachman's birthday.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, you get one back in game 2. You wanted to at least win one. The last thing you wanted was to lose both. So you at least give your chance tomorrow to be tied for first place at the end of the series. And then it's in your hands to go ahead and play Nebraska well and try and give yourself the best chance to win the first half outright. But again, a lot of things have to go right for Spearfish in order for that to happen, because they ended up losing game 1 here today. But we'll worry about that when we get there.
Right.
Let's focus on game 2 and the win.
Sure.
Timely hitting finally came through.
Absolutely.
Again, with the talk with Bach, there were a lot of chances in that first game that didn't happen, but they happened in game 2. And then pitching started to pick up as well. A couple of free bases here and there in game 2, but not as many. And, of course, Jackson Peters strikes out 4 or 5. So there's not much you could have asked more from there.
Absolutely. Minimizing errors, smart base running, putting bat to ball when you need to, and not getting greedy with your at-bats.
Yes.
I think that's something that we really took away, right? There was quick at-bats towards the at the beginning of this game. Pardon me, a little screen check. But yeah, I mean, there was at-bats that went pretty quickly at the beginning, and I don't know if there was a talk in the dugout or just kind of this consensus in a mindset sense where it's like, okay, we got to slow ourselves down in order to slow him down. Once they started to do that, you run up a pitch count, and you start to feel a little bit better about your spot at the plate. I think that our hitting this game, it wasn't like we hit 10 bombs, right? But the point is you're putting balls into play in the right position. You're also making better plays on bunts. I know those things aren't the most fun to handle, obviously, but you kind of take it step by step. You mentioned it over and over again, right? Control what you can control. That's huge. And in life, in baseball, when I'm making my breakfast in the morning,
it's funny how those two things are synonymous.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. I also want to point out the fact that I think the first game, in contrast to the second game, you look at how many free bases we were given and how many we actually took advantage of, right? What was it, 6 walks, 7 hits that we had in the first game? We got 1 run out of it. This game, the scoreboard is off, but definitely
double-digit hits,
right,
and a few walks. There's definitely some free bases in
right,
there.
But even without the walks, like, we still did what we had to do, you know? We got some really cool stickers coming in right here.
Awesome, thank you.
From Grayson's mom, Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea, so much. These are awesome. We're actually going to take a look at these on the microphone. But, yes, I'll piece through them, and we don't have to talk. We'll just keep going. But anyways, yeah, these are great. Check these out. So these are for
those are sweet.
Childhood cancer right here. They're golden ribbons. And so we've got some here for all the interns. We've also got Chelsea's card right here. There's a QR code on it. And then
is that another bracelet?
Another bracelet. That's his nickname. His nickname is one of the longest you'll ever hear.
It's a nickname?
Yeah, if it's the full thing on there, don't tell it to me. It should start with Grayson. Can you see the part where it starts with Grayson?
Okay.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Goody, Golden, Grayson, Carl, Superhero, Ninja Turtle, Chapeau?
Okay, it doesn't have the whole thing on there.
But that's what it is. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Golden, Goody, Grayson, Carl. So Carl's the middle name. Chapeau's his last name. Grayson's his first name. Golden is for childhood cancer. Goody, I forgot if I got the story on that one or not. Superhero, he is a superhero in a serious sense.
Yes.
Fighting childhood cancer for over 10 years now. Grayson, shout out to you. I'm writing a story on him. It should be really fun to put that together.
Yeah,
I was
wait
at
for
the
that
cages
one.
with him this morning. I'm really excited. Grayson's a great kid. Chelsea's a fantastic, phenomenal, whatever way you want to put it.
Yep.
Phenomenal mom. Little brother Caleb, he was there too. He was hitting a couple of hits off 70 miles per hour when he's 9. So pretty crazy stuff
Very
there.
Impressive.
2 siblings working the snack bar. They got other siblings, so great family. But yeah, these are awesome.
Yeah, it's
so,
got a few Bible verses on the back as well.
Yes.
Galatians 5:1, John 3:16, a classic, and Romans 10:9 through 10.
And then these are for you. I've got my pair of gold laces, but these are for shoes if we ever want them.
Yeah, I'll be wearing those for the marathon.
Or to just tie the lace wherever you want. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, these are going on for my marathon shoes.
Yeah. Well, thank you to Grayson, to Chelsea, and to the entire Chapeau family. Obviously, I don't want to, just cut that story off, but back to the game.
Yes.
Great game. Great fans, great people in attendance. By the way, actually, I want to read something out to shout out his little brother. Check this out. How many foul balls did he catch? Check this out.
Wow. Did he go crazy?
He had 25 foul balls today.
25 foul. That's 25
Squatch bucks. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So, really cool stuff for him. Yeah.
A great and beautiful day at the ballpark. The Squatch split 2 games, but fans came out. It's a beautiful sunset as we close things out here at Black Hills Energy Stadium. But an 8-5 winner, game back of first place. They'll play for it tomorrow, and it has all the implications and the pressure in the world in terms of Independence League baseball and trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting, and this place will be packed and rocking.
Yeah, absolutely.
8-5 the final in Game 2 from all of us here in Spearfish. My partner, Aiden Wirtz, our producer, director, color commentator. I'm A.J. Reister saying good night from beautiful Spearfish, South Dakota.